Hi, and welcome to Meetings in Math. You are here for solving two-step equations and multi-step equations. I'm so glad that you're here. Our essential question is, how can I solve an equation that has parentheses? So we're looking at parentheses, and we're also going to look at ones that have like terms. So what do you need today to get started? You're going to need your Jaguar Jots that say 3.5, and the essential question, how can I solve an equation that has parentheses? A pen or a pencil, a calculator might be nice to have, and as always, some kind of growth mindset, including your perseverance and your determination. So we're going to start right here over in the corner where it says use the blank. When we have problems that look like this, we want to always simplify the expressions on both sides of the equal signs. So use the distributive property as a first step in an equation that has parentheses before using inverse steps to solve. So if you remember back to distributive property, that means multiplying everything that's on the outside of the parentheses with everything that's on the inside of the parentheses. So we're going to do 4 times x, which is 4x, and 4 times negative 2, which is a negative 8, and then equals 16. And I already forgot to put in my roads. Remember, we put in the roads to help us keep things nice and straight, but we also put them in there to help us remember that what we do on one side we do to the other when we start solving. So now that we have that, we can start solving. Sometimes the problems start looking confusing right about now because there's a lot going on, and so we use a technique called masking. What masking does is it just covers up what we're not using at that time. So I've already done this step 4 times the quantity of x minus 2 equals 16. So I can actually just cover it up and now just worry about 4x minus 8 equals 16. So I know that in order to do this problem, before I can deal with this 4x term, I have to move this negative 8 term. And so to do that, the opposite of subtraction is addition. And what I do on one side, I have to do to the other side. So negative 8 plus 8 is 0, and I'm left with 4x is equal to 24. And again, it's kind of messy, and so I can use this idea of masking to help myself. So I can cover up what I've done, and now just focus on this one-step equation. 4x is equal to 24. How do I undo multiplication? I use division. Remember, we're using a bar to show division. It doesn't go all the way across, it just stays on each side. So this side would be x, and 24 divided by 4 is 6. I should check my answers. So go ahead, check your answer, and come back. So there you have it. I checked my work. 16 equals 16. I took my x equals 6. I wrote down what I'm replacing it into. I did substitution, and I simplified just on this side. And 16 equals 16. This is true. So I found my solution. Okay, let's look at the next problem. Again, I have parentheses. So I want to deal with my parentheses before I start solving the problem. Go ahead though and put in the road to help you, and let's get started. So nothing happens here, but I still have to write it down because we always write our equation in full. This is a negative 2x, so make sure you use the negative. Negative 2 times x is a negative 2x, and negative 2 times 3 is a negative 6. I need to move my negative 6 first, so I'm going to add 6 to both sides. Negative 12 plus 6 is a negative 6. Negative 6 plus 6 becomes 0, leaving me just with a negative 2x. Negative 2 times x, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. And negative 6 divided by negative 2 is a positive 3. And I think that is my answer, but I need to check it. So I'm going to check x equals 3 into the original equation. Go ahead and do that and come back. So I got it worked, and so I have a true answer. So I found the right equation. Let's look at this last one. This one has like terms, and so before I can do this one, I actually need to combine the like terms before using the inverse step. So I need to go 5x plus 3x to get 8x equals negative 64. I'm going to put in my roads to help me remember what I do to one side, I must do to the other. I have to look both ways, do the same thing to both sides. So I'm going to divide by 8 on both sides. 8 divided by 8 is 1, so I'm left with x. Negative 64 divided by 8 is a negative 8. Checking my work, you put it into the original equation, not the second one, the original one. So you're going to do 5 times negative 8 plus 3 times negative 8 equals negative 64. This is true. And that is how we solve equations when we have things like terms or distributive property. It's just a matter of simplifying your expression before you move on. I really want you guys to practice these problems. Go ahead and go through these 3 problems again before coming to class. And I thank you so much for joining us. And I am looking forward to seeing you in the very next lesson. And remember, be kind to each other, because you can always use some extra kindness in your lives. Bye for now.